For today's cup of coffee, we're going to try to beat the storm with this one. There's rumbling in the distance. But what we would like to talk about were creepy roles and creepy female actresses. And I had watched Sunset Boulevard again today, which is an absolutely phenomenal movie. This is the original with Gloria Swanson. I didn't even know they had done a remake. I don't want to think about it because why mess with perfection?
Exactly.
And her character of Norma Desmond.
She did an excellent.
Oh
that
my
role was
God.
basically made for her. She was that character. She played that character perfectly.
I mean, crazy lady, and the facial expressions and the body posturing of this actress was phenomenal. And it makes you wonder, was she like that in real life?
I don't know if she. I'm sure she had elements, but I don't think she was fully like that.
I would hope
But then
not.
again, we don't know.
Right. And the other two that we want to highlight today, that was Betty Davis and then Joan Crawford.
Oh God, Joan Crawford.
And Joan Crawford was crazy lady in real life.
Mommy dearest.
But when they, as far as whatever happened to Baby Jane,
That was a good movie. And ooh, when Betty Davis actually hit Joan Crawford, she actually hit Joan Crawford.
they hated each other.
absolutely hated each other.
I don't think that was just publicity stuff.
No, it wasn't.
It was-
Literally, when Joan Crawford died, Betty Davis was like, "My mother always told me to speak good of the dead. Joan Crawford is dead. Good."
And we were discussing as far as
But
those.
she was just as crazy as Joan Crawford.
Of course she was.
And I think that's why they had such a rivalry. Because both their daughters came out with books, and they were very similar.
I don't know, maybe they should have been sharing a room at the asylum someplace.
No, they're successful. They're doing their own thing right now.
So, but the early Hollywood film people, there was an elegance, there was a style. Youngest kid was talking earlier that these people actually, they were true actors.
Jane Mansfield, Marilyn Monroe, oh God, Dorothy, who was it?
Dorothy who?
Wizard of Oz.
Oh, that was Judy Garland.
Julie Garland, yeah, those are true actresses.
And
Those are classic Hollywood.
that we don't
memorabilia,
have
Americana.
anymore. We don't have that anymore. And Kid was talking about now that you've got people that want to be closer to reality. When we go to a movie, we don't want reality.
Exactly. And a lot of us cannot afford to go see a play, so we want that same musical or play element
Right.
in the movies.
Sure. And those were the exaggerated everything.
The
Gestures,
exaggerated gestures,
facial expressions.
facial expressions, the over-top speaking. That's what we want.
And there was this...
Now, Marilyn Monroe did that, but she was able to reel it back to the point that it was believable or
Right.
whatever. It wasn't overly dramatic. She was perfection when
Right.
she acted.
Well, and it's like a lot of the early silent films, especially like Nosferatu and things like that, they had that operatic essence to it.
Well, that's where it came
Right.
from the theater, and so, they were still in theater training.
Well, and the German filmmakers, and Tim Burton has taken that, and I wish I had written down the actual, I'll put it in the description box, that is the style of early German filmmaking, where it is all monochrome, because that's what they had.
Uh-huh.
But as far as the exaggeration of shadows and everything like that, and Tim Burton has carried that on a lot,
Mm-hmm.
it's very effective.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as playing crazy people, And Kid did a summer project a couple of years ago where he got to be a part of theater.
I got to be part of musical theater, and it was an amazing experience. But some of the people that are in theater in general, not just musical theater, just theater in general, oh,
They are crazy.
they are. And
Crazy.
they act above and beyond. They act exaggerated even when they're not on stage, and it's like, reel it back just a little bit. Shut it down. You don't have to be at 2,000% all the time.
His teacher, she was brilliant, but everything bombastic,
That's a good word for it.
just drama to the nth degree, and it wears on you very quickly.
It really does, especially when you are an artist. It's difficult being with people who are part of theater. And I'm not saying theater is not a form of art, because it is, but there's just a very distinct difference between actors and live performers in general and people who do art. People who paint, draw, sculpt,
Visual
whatever.
artist.
Yeah, visual artists. There's a distinct difference between how they act.
Absolutely. And when I was working on my degree in art, and it was interesting because different forms of visual arts, the people had similar characteristics.
Mm-hmm.
And the people in photography, a lot of times they had issues with their skin, and I always wondered if it wasn't. It could have very much been the chemicals and stuff that they were using.
Yeah.
The weavers were very odd. That's all you can say. They were just kind of odd.
I haven't been around those type of people, so I don't know.
Those of us that were painters, just bizarre in our own right.
Yeah.
And it's expected.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, and the ceramists, they were people that do ceramics. They have got their own peculiarities also.
Mm-hmm.
And those were two of the things that I loved. I loved ceramics because the feel of the clay and stuff like that. And of course painting. And we were talking about theater people, they need that attention.
They do need that attention, but with artists a lot of the time,
we don't want
if you are working on a piece, you don't want people looking at you. You don't want even people being in the same room, let alone standing over your shoulder, basically watching you the whole time.
Exactly. It's just a very, it's a very intimate process.
It's like, leave me alone right now. Let me get in my zone. Just leave me alone for
Right.
like a couple of hours, and then we can do whatever.
Oh, and for somebody, when you are creating and somebody to come in and give suggestions, no, do
not ever do that.
Mm-mm.
Let them do their own thing.
And if they ask, then yeah, you might can make some suggestions. But as far as
if they ask for criticism, go ahead.
I would do. Well, hell, you go ahead and you do. Don't tell me
Exactly.
what to do. I'm very sensitive about that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've had that done so often, and it's like,
And her art is amazing. When she painted beautifully. I love her artwork. She does abstract art. Mom does. Orlando, the one that speaks the most of the time. She's an amazing painter. And I want her to make a painting for me. I You can do whatever you want with it. The only thing, whenever I do settle on a theme of the room, I want it to coincide with that.
I can do that, but I actually, my art. He was the
But even
maestro. He was our Dumbledore, and that was George Chabotelle. And God bless him. I adored him. And he was the one that taught me as far as the large paintings. So actually some of the canvases that I have right now for me to do what I do, they're too small. That's another reason we need to learn how to use the miter saw. But with going back to the actresses, because it's all together, it's artists and different things like that. If you have not seen the original Sunset Boulevard, go back and it's just Swanson's performance just phenomenal. And she really captured the essence of those silent film stars with her eye movements.
Mm-hmm.
And especially there when that last after she had killed dude, and they had come to arrest her, and she had gone just totally off the deep. She had been teetering for a long time, but that was the part where she totally went batshit crazy.
Yeah.
And the hand gestures. And even as far as when she was descending the stairs and just screamed, asylum, no pun intended, Betty Davis and Joan Crawford in Whatever Happened to Baby Jane.
And
the thing about serving the rat and her pulling the cover off of that dish, and that there was a rat laying there, and I'm like, who does that? Who thought of this?
And Joan Crawford in, I think it's Axe or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, that one was a really good movie as well.
You could see her doing that.
Yeah. And she very well could.
She was
Could've.
intense.
Yeah, she abused 2 children.
I mean,
She abused everyone that was in that house, basically.
It was just, yeah. So how much was acting and how much was real life? Just with cameras.
No more wire hangers. Beat the child with the wire hanger. And I haven't read Betty Davis's daughter's book, so I don't know. I don't even know if that has been turned into a movie.
I've never heard of it, and obviously hers was not. I don't know if it was as severe as Joan Crawford or not.
It was close. It was close.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
So
She was adopted as well. I'm pretty sure.
I don't, like I said, Betty Davis, just as she got older, and if you've never seen her performance in Burnt Offerings, that's another one. Watch that, because when there was a scene in there where the driver of the hearse, and that guy, he didn't have to do anything except stand there and smile. He was just an odd-looking individual. He looked creepy anyhow. They put a chauffeur's outfit on him, and the look on her face when he was standing there at her door, just brilliant. And then even as far as that she had to act as though she had had a stroke.
Mm-hmm.
And just amazing.
I mean, they were talented.
And creepy.
They were talented. They were just fucked up individuals.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know about Gloria Swanson. I mean, but that character of Norma Desmond, that's... Yeah, so go and watch you some movies with these folks in it, and you wonder what kind of... It does fall in the category as supernatural and paranormal, because actors, they pretend to be other people. The ones that are method actors, you wonder, are they being possessed? Yeah. And so the storm is drawing near, and so we will end before we get... I'd rather not be lightning.
Struck by lightning.
Yeah. So if you've got supernatural, paranormal...
Like that dude jumping in the pool, and then all of a sudden lightning strikes like literally 10 feet from him or whatever.
What kind of fool goes in a pool in a lightning storm?
It wasn't raining. Wait, no, it was raining, but it wasn't like lightning when he did it. And then all of a sudden, boom!
That's a Darwin Award right there.
Yeah.
But anyhow, if
He didn't die.
Paranormal or supernatural, if you've had experiences
with anyone as far as
UFOs and and aliens, there people could go in with the aliens.
Yeah.
Cryptid sightings, Bigfoot, altered realities.
Oh, the lights just like
anything like that, email that to cupofcoffeewithscream at gmail.com. And you all have a wonderful day.
Bye. Don't get caught up in the crazy and lightning.